Today on Studio G, reporter Elena Ledbetter shows us one way we can relive the past.
Donald Woods updates us on the latest news in science and technology.
And Honey Love has this week's entertainment news for you. All this and more coming up on this edition of Studio G.
Good afternoon, Rebels. I'm Tommy Laren.
And I'm China Green. None of us will ever forget the tragic event that took place at Sandy Hook Elementary last December. Residents in Newtown, Connecticut voted overwhelmingly Saturday to tear down the Sandy Hook Elementary School and replace it. More than 5,000 voters showed up. Saturday's referendum asked voters to approve the overall $50 million project. Those who voted down say the state does not have enough money to do this, but an overwhelming majority voted yes, about 4,500. The old school was the scene of a shooting last December that left 20 children dead as well as 6 staff members. The building is expected to be demolished in the near future, before the one-year anniversary of the mass shooting. Town officials hope replacing the school will help the town move forward after the tragedy. Sandy Hook students have been going to classes in Monroe and can now look forward to a new school.
This past Friday was the ever so popular First Friday festivities, where people of all ages usually come out and have a good time. This Friday, however, marked the first Friday where curfew was enforced for minors. Las Vegas City Council voted Wednesday to enact a stricter curfew for anyone under 18 on Fridays and Saturdays. Minors will be fined up to $300 if seen out past curfew. Kevin DeVar of Los Angeles, while very festive, does speak out on a serious note. He says that it's understandable to have, specifically in Las Vegas, there are several expectations to this law, such as minors are allowed out with guardian under supervision. The curfew will be enforced starting at 9 p.m. until 5 a.m. For more information, go to lasvegasnevada.gov.
Have you ever come across an old picture of your grandparents and loved their hairstyle? Well, reporter Elena Ledbetter has the perfect place for you to go and get that vintage cut.
Rockabilly, a term coined back in the 50s and 60s for a specific genre of music, but also for the slick-back, vintage hairstyles. In Las Vegas, there is only one place where locals and tourists can go to get their hair cut and styled rockabilly style: the High Rollers Rockabilly Barbershop and Shaving Parlor. The small, popular shop is owned by Martin Corona, who has been a barber for 4 years and has always been enamored with the classic hairstyles.
I knew going into the barber school that this was my goal, that Vegas needed a rockabilly style barbershop.
Corona purchased and opened the shop last year and designed it to display the rockabilly culture.
You know, it's just part of the culture, like the rockabilly culture. That's where I got a lot of the ideas for, like the art on the walls.
Client Andre Daigle believes the shop displays the rockabilly culture and traditions.
What the gentlemen here at High Rollers are doing is they're keeping those traditions and the classic cuts, like the pompadours, the Teds. I mean, anything you want like that, you can't go get that at another place.
Barber Roberto Esparza says it best.
No one else does this type of haircut. They try to do it, but it doesn't look like, it does here. And that's why people come here, because, we do a good job.
The shop has had much media coverage. Stories have been published in the Las Vegas Sun, Weekly, and the LA Times. Also, celebrities like baseball player Bryce Harper and the cast from Pawn Stars have visited the one-of-a-kind barbershop. Barber Eric Nunes believes the clients who walk in the door also contribute to the uniqueness of the shop.
And just the crowd of people that we get here. It's not like any other barbershop that I've ever been in.
At the High Rollers Barbershop and Shaving Parlor, clients are lined up outside the shop before it even opens. Inside, Martin and his crew are constantly busy snipping hair, but the wait isn't that long. Once seated, you know you're in the best place to get a rockabilly pompadour and comb over in Las Vegas. Reporting for Studio G, I'm Elena Ledbetter.
Thanks, Elena. I guess it is true that all styles eventually come back into style. If you're interested in getting a rockabilly hairstyle for yourself, you can find the barber shop on the corner of Maryland and Charleston. I love the rockabilly hairstyle. How do you feel about that?
I think it's really interesting. I'm glad we have something unique like that in Las Vegas. How do you think I would look?
I could see more curls, maybe a little flower, and a mustache would look great.
I will definitely have to consider that.
It's not an easy hairstyle to do, by the way.
Starting a business is an exciting proposition, but it's also an incredibly challenging undertaking. Reporter Christina Davies catches up with one local business owner for a little advice about running your own business.
Firehouse Subs is a sandwich shop that recently opened up near campus. I talked with the franchisee owner, Bob Hosbrook, about the time and effort it takes to own your own business.
First thing we did was we looked at different options. You always have to do some comparisons. So like I said, we looked at 4 or 5 different franchise opportunities, got into the financials of the company, the direction of the company, where they're going.
With that comes a lot of time, researching, and figuring out what a specific business is all about.
We did a lot of research into the product, into the company itself. Firehouse Subs actually only takes about 15% of their applicants that they approve for a franchise. So it was, all told, probably 8 to 10 months.
After choosing Firehouse Subs and them actually choosing him back, location was the next step on the agenda.
Big thing for us was the UNLV campus, our proximity to UNLV, and really being able to be involved with not only the student body but the faculty and the program so that we could really tie that connection and develop that relationship.
Throughout this whole process, Hosbrook thought he was prepared.
Prepared for the unexpected, because there are always things that come up that you're not ready for.
Despite some unexpectancies, such as last-minute interior setup, Hosbrook says it was all worth it.
According to Bob Hosbrook, owning your own business is a lot of work, and the best advice that he gives to students is do your homework. For Studio G, I'm Christina Davies.
According to the U.S. Small Business Administration, roughly 50% of small businesses fail within the first 5 years. So if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, be sure to take the proper steps it takes to start a business.
After the break, Donald Woods has this week's science and technology news.
And Bree Padilla will have your daily weather forecast. Stay tuned.
Your community's farmers market. Welcoming, lively, friendly. A place where neighbors and friends come together to celebrate their community. With over 50 vendors, organic, sustainable, fresh produce are available just for you. Support and buy local at Fresh 52.
King Louie here.
This is Jennifer.
Crystal May McGuerza.
I'm Savannah.
Zoe here.
This is your boy Miles Lowe.
Christian FGY.
Kaylin Hype.
And I'm Jay Luna.
My Mind's Music.
Gonzo Radio.
Combox Radio.
Join us for Happy Hour.
The Miles Lowe Midweek Show.
Ill Vibe Theory.
On KUNV.
KUNV. KUNV.
KUNV HD2.
91.5 The Rebel.
Broadcast on Revcast.com.
Hello, I'm Donald Wist with this Tuesday segment of Science and Technology. Supervolcanoes have been identified on Mars. Scientists made this discovery studying images from spacecraft that has been orbiting the red planet, where evidence has indicated that several volcanoes spewed lava and ash. Scientists are comparing these supervolcanoes to that of the supervolcano that sits underneath Yellowstone National Park. Scientists say that they are now able to identify mysterious diseases in kids and adults by decoding a patient's gene pool. Unknown diseases in patients have always puzzled doctors, but with this study, it is said that it will enable doctors to directly benefit patients with giving them more accurate diagnosis. For other exploration in gene sequences, the government recently launched a pilot project to try the same decoding for newborns. To studies reported it uses screen during fertility treatments and figuring out causes of stillbirths. If you are a user of Facebook, by now you are probably used to seeing advertisements along your news feed. If you use Instagram, you might begin to see occasional photo and video advertisements in the upcoming months. The photo mobile sharing app owned by Facebook says that this is an effort on Facebook Incorporated to become a sustained business. If you use this app, your input will be heavily relied on to improve the app experience. An official blog post from Instagram stated that you will be able to hide ads you don't like and get to provide feedback on what didn't feel right. So expect to see that in the upcoming months. That's all the science and technology news I have for this Tuesday. I'm Donald Woods. Now we'll send it over to Bree Padilla for today's weather forecast.
Thanks, Dawn. That looks great. I'm still thinking about rocking a mustache for my own rockabilly haircut. My name is Bree, and we have your weekly forecast today. We're starting at a nice and mild 80 degrees. All right, guys, and then you can see in 1964 we hit a 98 degrees, but we're floating still at 8. Our low for the day was 58. We hit it earlier this morning. All right, and it looks like the rest of the West Coast is also having some similar luck. We have 66 in Santa Barbara, 72 in Bishop, although it looks like up towards Medford into the Seattle area they're hitting some showers. We can see in our national forecast that is the case. Seattle, Boise, and Salt Lake are all hitting mild shower weather. And then when you go all the way up to New York, we have the traditional great upstate New York weather, Augusta and New York, both getting 66 and 64 degrees. Right, for our extended forecast back here, we have 73 and overcast on Wednesday. On Thursday, it looks like it'll brighten up, and Friday through to next Tuesday, nice and sunshiny. Thanks, you guys. And now back to the desk with Tommy Laren and China Green.
Coming up after the break, Alexis Mertz sits down with one ultimate lifestyle strategist you don't want to miss. Studio G will be right back.
I think what a lot of people don't realize, we provide 1,300 hot meals a day through 3 of our kitchens. We have about 650 people sleeping in beds provided by the Salvation Army every night. We have 127,000 of people that we touch every year. It's huge, and people have no idea that we do more than have thrift stores and ring bells at Christmas.
DECA promotes personal and professional development through competitive events, community involvement, and leadership development.
I joined DECA because I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. So I got to meet people, network, and definitely work on my public speaking.
To join DECA, it's a very simple process. You have to pay a $25 membership fee. You can either come to our next meeting, our website, which is unlvdeca.co.vu.
We're open to all majors who are interested in business, finance, or hospitality-related fields.
Hello and welcome back from the break. I'm here with Frantonia Pollins, also known as the First Lady of Empowerment. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. So tell us a little bit about your mission to empower 1 million women worldwide.
Wow, yeah, I have a mission to empower 1 million women worldwide to conquer their fears about money and wealth, discover their own unique, divine, powerful purpose on the planet, and begin businesses that will help to create a multi-generational legacy of wealth. I know that sounds like a huge undertaking.
Huge.
But it came about because I believe that we live in a society that teaches women to put themselves last. And with us living in a society where we have so many women who are heading households alone and raising their children on their own, one of the best ways for women to be empowered is by starting their own businesses. One of the things, unfortunately, that I'm discovering is that women have an inherent fear around putting their business ideas out there, and particularly around asking for money for the services that they provide. So throughout the years of being an entrepreneur, encountering so many women who had those fears, it just became my mission to liberate women and therefore liberate families by helping women to be empowered financially, economically, and in their businesses.
That's awesome. And where do you think this fear comes from for women?
Oh, wow. Gosh, how long do we have? I think that fear comes from a society that teaches women that they are less than. We live in a society that unfortunately, through so many different avenues, be it religious or, in the workplace, corporate environment, women are taught that they are second-class citizens, that they are less than. And so it has an effect on how women value themselves and how they value the information and the knowledge that they have to share with the world. So we find so many women giving it away versus creating viable businesses where they are earning a generous income for the value that they provide to the world.
Absolutely. And I noticed that we've got a couple books here. Do you mind explaining what we're looking at?
Absolutely. So Before I became really clear about what my vision and my mission was, I would meditate every morning, and I simply started sharing some of the thoughts that I journaled after my meditation on Facebook. And at the time, they were called One Powerful Question. So I would simply share what I came out of meditation with as a thought on Facebook, and tons of people started to respond to them and ask me when I was going to create a book. And to be honest with you, a lot of them became really personal, and so I considered not doing them anymore because I started to get really personal with what I was sharing until I got an inbox message one day from a young lady. And I believe what I shared that day spoke to our ability to either push someone over the ledge with the way that we treat them, or to embrace them by wrapping our arms around them and pulling them back in, because we never know what people are going through. And on that particular day, that young lady had been contemplating suicide.
Wow.
And she resonated with me so much because she has a very unique name, which is the same name that my daughter has. And that was the day that I decided that this needed to continue, and that I turned it into the first book, which is One Powerful Question. The second book, Awaken the First Lady Within, is really based around my brand, which is the First Lady of Empowerment.
Okay.
And it is a book that teaches women how to turn their passion into a powerful and profitable business. So whether it is knitting, whether it is a love for baking, whether it is your love for young children, and you can take that and turn it into an in-home daycare. I believe that every skill, talent, and ability that women possess can be monetized and turned into a viable business. So that's where both of the books came from.
Oh, that is pretty exciting. So where does your love for helping others come from? When did it start?
I think I've always had a love for helping others, specifically women. It was born out of a personal tragedy.
Okay.
So years ago, in another lifetime, I worked for a nonprofit organization here called AFAN. And at the time we had a location over in West Las Vegas that focused specifically on the urban community. I came to be a part of AFAN through a family member who contracted and eventually died from AIDS-related illness. Fast forward a few years, I ended up getting a positive AIDS results, an HIV positive result. And it took me into a tailspin, a deep depression, and my entire life, everything that I had built my life on, my belief, my faith, the loving relationship that I was in, fell apart. And the journey that it took me to rebuild myself, to rebuild my self-esteem and my love for myself and my self-value, my self-worth, is what my desire to help women came from. A lot of the issues that I discovered during that period of time, I found were common issues that women had. Fortunately, or unfortunately, however you choose to look at it, 4 months after getting the diagnosis, I also got a letter stating that they had made a mistake and mixed up my test result with someone else's.
That is, wow. We'll have to talk about that after this. Just one last question. So how can women who need empowerment get in contact with you?
Great question. I can be reached on my website at www.frantoniapollins.com, or you can reach me at 702-706-LADY.
Ooh, creative. Alrighty, well, we'll be right back for some more Studio G. Thank you guys very much, and stay tuned.
Your community's farmers market. Welcoming, lively, friendly. A place where neighbors and friends come together to celebrate their community. With over 50 vendors, organic, sustainable, fresh produce are available just for you. Support and buy local at Fresh 52.
My name is James Grant.
King Louie here.
This is Jennifer.
Crystal May Maguerza.
I'm Savannah. Zoe here.
This is your boy Miles Lowe.
Christian FGY.
Kaylin Hype.
And I'm Jay Luna.
My Mind's Music.
Gonzo Radio.
Combox Radio.
Join us for happy hour.
The Miles Lowe Midweek Show.
Ill Vibe Theory.
On KUNV.
KUNV.
KUNV HD2.
91.5 The Rebel.
Broadcast on revcast.com.
A local art festival brought nearly 100,000 visitors to the town of Boulder City this weekend. Studio G reporter Bree Bradley tells us more.
Great food, handcrafted art, and face painting. Boulder City's 51st annual Art in the Park Festival is considered one of the largest outdoor art festivals in the Southwest. This event, being free to the public, draws nearly 100,000 visitors per year. Attendees enjoy numerous arts and crafts being sold by vendors like Sonia Lee Pichetto.
What I do is all my products I design to make one by one, and they're all designed from recycled products, recycled hand-found mediums such as recycled wine corks. I use paper, I make all my own paper from dryer lint, just all sorts of unusual recycled mediums, but my main focus is recycled wine cork jewelry.
Sonia isn't the only vendor who spends a significant amount of time on her homemade products. Glass sculptor Dennis Johnson tells me that it has taken him nearly 30 years to perfect his figurines.
They're hand sculpted glass as opposed to hand blown. I don't do any blowing, no tubing is used. When I make all products, and I have for 31 years, I use solid bars of Pyrex glass, shape that by looking at pictures into a clear figurine, and immediately thereafter melt gold in. And what I've discovered over 30 years is if gold and glass are bonded at the right temperatures, they create colors. If you look close, you'll see there's purples or pinks or blues in each figurine. That is gold applied to clear glass over 1,000 degrees. Real gold never fades or tarnishes.
Whether it is adults coming for a little bit of arts and crafts or simply fun for the kids here, Boulder City's Art in the Park has something for everyone. For Studio G, I'm Bree Bradley.
Thanks, Bree. For more information on the upcoming events in the historic town of Boulder City, Nevada, you can go to visit bouldercity.com.
UNLV has been recognized as a top university for its comprehensive approach to student mental health programming. UNLV is one of just 30 universities awarded the JED Campus Seal of the JED Foundation. The seal assesses how well the university works collaborative beyond its counseling centers to approach mental health services for its students. This includes counseling and suicide prevention programs, health and life skills programs, and additional outreach for faculty, staff, and students. The seal is valid for 2 years.
As healthcare remains at the forefront of national news, this past weekend, local entrepreneurs and advocates tackled the issue from an entirely different angle. Reporter Bree Padilla has more.
Just like I want to have it in Clark County, I want to spend this much and this much.
Students filed into a classroom of a different sort Saturday morning as CCI, the Cannabis Career Institute, visited Las Vegas again. Led by Robert Kalkin, CCI is the second school in the country. Kalkin, who is also a lecturer, said CCI is the only series of mobile business seminars intended to help potential entrepreneurs.
Anybody that wants to get into the industry can come here, decide what is the right path for them, how are they going to make money, and if they want to either have their own business or work for somebody else.
Education involves working with professionals from all parts of the industry, which extends beyond dispensaries and includes growers, cooks, and healthcare workers. The school also brought in local authorities on marijuana legislation and reform, including Michael Owliff of the local advocacy group We Can. Owliff has worked in Las Vegas and Nevada for the past 12 years on the issue of marijuana reform and spoke to students not just about the legislative framework surrounding marijuana-related business operations.
So part of what I was talking about was trying to motivate people who want to get into this industry, which is going to be $1 billion industry in this state, and get them involved in that process. So the more people that we have who are speaking out and giving ideas and showing that there's a tremendous amount of public interest, the more leverage that an organization like mine, We Can, will have in dealing with these various regulators and getting patient and business-friendly legislation.
Marijuana industry consultant and former investigative reporter John Veet, a faculty member of CCI, spoke to students inside and outside of the classroom.
You get busted doing it, and the bigger you get, the easier it is to get busted. Most of these busts, they're just that. They're raids. They come in, they take all the stuff. They don't file any charges, and they just take the stuff. And then you have, in 2 years, they have to give it back. But hopefully for their sake, the takers of the stuff, you'll screw up.
Regular attendees, growing class sizes, and a consistent seminar schedule, CCI and its affiliates will continue to push legitimacy and professionalism as a staple of this growing industry.
CCI will be in town again this December. Go to CannabisCareerInstitute.com for more information about classes. To learn more about local legalization efforts, go to weekend702.org. When we get back, Honey Love will let you know what's happening in the streets of Sin City.
Collegiate DECA promotes personal and professional development through competitive events, community involvement, and leadership development.
I joined DECA because I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. So I got to meet people, network, and definitely work on my public speaking.
To join DECA, it's a very simple process. You have to pay a $25 membership fee. You can either come to our next meeting, our website, which is UNLV-TV.co.vu.
We're open to all majors who are interested in business, finance, or hospitality-related fields.
A lot of people don't realize we provide 1,300 hot meals a day through 3 of our kitchens. We have about 650 people sleeping in beds provided by the Salvation Army every night. We have 127,000 of people that we touch every year. It's huge, and people have no idea that we do more than have thrift stores and ring bells at Christmas.
My graphics will come up sometime soon, but that's okay. There we go. Maybe not. Okay, anyway, hello everyone and welcome to my segment of Sin City Streets. Well, I will be bringing you the latest in entertainment news, and hopefully after you watch this video, my graphics will be correct. So check it out. Vegas headliners Donnie and Marie Osmond announced last week that they will be staying in Sin City a little longer than expected.
We're announcing that we are extending until the end of 2014.
That's right. By that time, I should be able to speak fluent Flamingo.
Yes.
Flamingo. I wonder what that would sound like. The dynamic duo first performed at the Flamingo back in 2008 under a 6-week contract that resulted in a 5-year residency. The Flamingo Hotel and Casino also had a huge surprise for the siblings. Take a look.
There we go. Countdown.
Okay,
everybody, 5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
And while Donnie joked about having top billing, Marie quickly snapped back by saying that she gets the last word. When asked how they felt about having the Flamingo showroom named after them, they had this to say.
But the thing is, to be able to have a showroom named after you, especially in a place like the Flamingo, one of the the main traditions of Las Vegas.
Staple.
And now it's our showroom. It's kind of cool.
It is an honor. It's not done very often, and we feel very blessed.
Well, that does it for this segment of Sin City Streets. You know it's always going down in the entertainment capital of the world, and your girl, Honey Loves, always got you covered. Now back to the desk with Tommy Laren and China Green.
This is all the news we have for you on this edition of Studio G. I'm Tommy Laren.
And I'm China Green. Have a great Tuesday, Las Vegas.